organizations, and we think we generated a lot of energy there. Had some tremendous out-of-town speakers as well as local folks. And so we wanted to build on the energy and ideas that from the October Summit to try to promote increased cooperations and communications among all the organizations that are devoted to international affairs, relations, visitors, etc. So we'd like to be more engaged. So what we wanted to do was have a format where a spokesman or one representative from each of the organizations that are represented takes about 5 minutes to answer some questions about their organization, and we'll listen, and Karen and Delbert are going to sort of take some notes and things. But then what we want to do is get into summarizing the themes that we heard, and then brainstorm ideas to address any unmet needs there are, or determine if better communication and networking or partnering is desired, and then determine if we ought to have additional meetings or how we ought to work as a group, if that's what people want. So what I'd like to do is then, I thought I would start with ACIB to give you all a sense of what we're looking for. So the first thing is what your organization is trying to accomplish from an international perspective. And so ACIB is a nonprofit 501(c) volunteer organization. It was organized in 1982, and we currently have about 90 members. The State Department, through its International Visitors Leadership Program and the National Council for International Visitors, promotes citizen diplomacy by bringing emerging leaders to the United States. And the ACIB coordinates programs, including home hospitality, professional appointments, and cultural activities for these visitors.
A little bit different in sister cities is that we really have a charge from the city government to focus on maintaining relationships with the official city relationships that we have, international relationships. So there's currently 9 sister cities, and I have a few flyers here. If you're interested, I'll just pass. I hope there's enough, but if not, it is downloadable on the website. I'll just sort of pass it this way, and if you want one, take one.
I can take one because I'm a member of Sister City.
And Davis Begay, has been to Sasebo, Japan, which is one of our sister cities, and we work closely with the local consul generals or honorary consul generals, people who are interested in these organizations, and very soon. So we represent about 7 different countries, if I counted right, but we have a few in Mexico. We have Chihuahua, Guadalajara. So there's always, we're always interested in Albuquerque on exploring, more exchanges and how we can connect with those areas down in Mexico, especially from my interest, would be the Chihuahua area and the Jalisco state.
Albuquerque Committee on Foreign Relations. Our mission is one of education. We try to achieve that by conducting a speakers program throughout the year. We take a hiatus during the summer, but we have a national organization that goes out and actively recruits speakers on topics of international affairs. The speakers are either U.S., former ambassadors, former senior government officials, or folks from other countries who come to Albuquerque, usually on about a monthly basis, and we have a dinner. And then the speaker talked to us about a subject, and we follow that with a sometimes lively and sometimes not lively, depending on the subject and the attendees' question and answer session.
Countries around the world and within states in the United States. We have about 83 members currently with the same problem. We're all aging. We meet for lunch once a month and have excellent programs. Carolyn Setberry is our program chairman, and she always finds a wonderful program for us. We've been last year and this year concentrating on New Mexico programs because of our 100th birthday. And in January of last year, our outbound exchange was to Australia, and they had a wonderful exchange. Then,
With 3 separate Christian sports clubs
yes,
in different parts of Australia.
Texas and Australia and California joined us to go there. In October, we hosted a group from northern Germany.
Pat Kushless, who many of you may know. She's out of town and I'm vice president, so that's why I'm here tonight. Basically, our mission is very much like ACFR's. We are largely a discussion education group. We're a nonprofit 501c3. We're dependent on volunteer work. We've been in existence maybe about 10 years. And what we like to concentrate on is small group discussions. So we have the same kinds of speakers that ACFR has, people who happen to be in town, diplomats, ambassadors. We have a lot of former ambassadors in Santa Fe, it turns out, and other interesting people who we find in one way or another. We usually have luncheon meetings. We have them about every other month throughout the year, and that's without the summer. Let's see, and then we have been having, not every year since we've been in existence, but the past few years we've been doing this in the spring. We have a seminar that lasts for a full day or 2 days. And last year's was Yemen. And
Chamber of Commerce. Just a little bit about what they're doing. The Hispanic Chamber is got about 1,400 members, mostly small and medium-sized businesses in Albuquerque. It's the largest Hispanic Chamber of Commerce in the country, just about. Been around for about 30 years, and the mission is basically to help small businesses or medium-sized businesses start up. They train people, they provide some marketing services. They also have a convention and tourism department that you may know about. It works with the city of Albuquerque to sponsor local, national, and international groups in here in Albuquerque. And over the years, the Chamber's been working on international business and trade, but in the last 3 years, I've been the chairman of the committee, and we developed an action plan, which is quite optimistic, maybe overly optimistic. Basically, we're trying to define what the needs were in Albuquerque and New Mexico, and how to accomplish them. And we believe that we need to do a lot of training. First of all, international trade is growing all over the country and all over the world. And I think in the United States there's a concerted effort to try to focus on international trade, especially with the Asian Pacific region. To some degree, of course, Europe's always been there, and Canada. And it's beginning to shift more attention to Latin America and Mexico. So,
the countries answer their needs, whether it be in security. I know a lot in Costa Rica. They do a lot of response disaster. So we do different engagements. We bring different personnel, whether it be from their, and in our case, it's kind of a little bit of a challenge because initially was made to build military to military contacts and improve security and different avenues, different needs. Costa Rica does not have a military right now. They haven't had a military for over 4 years, so they have what they call this, again, like many other countries, it's just their different ministries of security. So we engage with them, and that's really where our need is. We engage, like we said, in different security sectors. We do institutional and professional development, career development for their entity, for the ministries, for their whether it be the medical field. They just started a new border police that they didn't have in the past, so we're going out there, helping them.
I'm the interim director of international programs and studies at the University of New Mexico. And I'm also here as a member of the Fulbright Association, which is a statewide organization that I'll talk about a little bit. Sorry I'm late, I was at another meeting and just got out. The international education at UNM is a growing area. I'm happy to say we have a new president and we have a new provost who's been on the job for a few months. And both of them are much more interested in international issues and international education than I think any previous UNM administration. So I think it's a good time to be involved there. The Office of International Programs and Studies does about 3 things. We take care of the international students who come to the University of New Mexico. There are about 1,100 of them, and they come from about 94 different countries. We also do study abroad programs for University of New Mexico students, and we currently send about 600 students a year on some kind of international study or internship or volunteer work program. And we also have an intensive English language program for international students, but also employees.
On behalf of Casa de Salud, which is a nonprofit medical clinic, but I'm also speaking on behalf of my international relations interests and experiences. So Casa de Salud is a nonprofit grassroots organization that came about from the need to accessible, culturally appropriate healthcare in Bernalillo County. Like-minded traditional healers and doctors that wanted to increase access, break down the barriers of cost or language or cultural dissonance. So we offer a variety of healthcare services. We have 2 legs, as I like to put it. One's conventional, one's traditional. So we have our doctors working alongside our acupuncturists, our curanderas working along our physician's assistants, our massage therapists working along our tattoo removal techs.
Organizations. My role at CNM is I am a director, and I oversee, one of the programs I oversee is service learning. UNM has a great service learning program. And that might be something that you look into. Service learning at CNM has 4 basic components. We offer it to students, and the components are academics. They have to meet their course academics, their course objectives, while providing service at an approved nonprofit agency, which I believe all of them are. I like the ACIV, and what drew me in was the citizen diplomacy. Well, part of service learning at CNM is civic responsibility. The 4th component is reflection. So where we tie it all together.